Good morning. It's such a pleasure to welcome all of you to this webinar. Some ground rules before we start. If you're not able to hear us or see us, don't panic. Please click on the reconnect button, which is at the top. I'm repeating, if you're not able to hear us or see us, please check your internet connectivity and click on the reconnect button. Use the chat window to ask questions. Please refrain from introducing yourself because if we are posting any important questions, it becomes difficult for us to respond to those questions. So please refrain from using the chat window to introduce yourself. Keep a notepad and pen so you could make notes of the session. There are going to be a lot of interesting information that is going to be shared with you. So I would request you to keep a notepad and pen handy. Please keep checking your emails regularly because we are doing a series of webinar. I think this is our second webinar that we are doing, and there is a lot planned in the next week. So watch out for your email. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Samuel. I'm responsible for new partnerships at Cambridge. For the benefit of our newcomers, most of you have been working with us. You've been hearing about our qualification. We see a lot of new number of people. So for the benefit of them, I would just like to give you a snapshot of the benefit that these qualification brings. We have around 5.5 million people taking these qualifications in 140 countries. We have around 50,000 schools uh, taking these exams, and these qualifications are recognized by 20,000 organizations. So this is for the benefit of the newcomers. Even as we move to the very important part, the presenter for today is Dr. Shayanti Talwar. She's one of our senior most presenter, a professionally qualified ELT person, researcher, trainer, and educator. She's been associating with several organizations and universities in different capacity as a resource person, an ELT consultant, a subject expert, mentor, a content developer, and curriculum planner. Over to you, Dr. Shayanti.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I hope I'm audible. Very good morning. In fact, good afternoon. And thrilled to be on this platform today. And we're looking at an engagement and an introductory webinar on TKT, which is the Teaching Knowledge Test. All Cambridge English exams are well known for their acronyms. So Teaching Knowledge Test is better known as TKT. And what I intend to do in the next 1 hour is to orient you to the modules, to the benefits of TKT, to uh, to TKT as a method of upskilling yourself, and so on and so forth. So the rough overview. I mean, the if I had to give you an overview of the webinar, it would be the thrust areas would be the following three. A, I will be familiarizing you with the format of the TKT exams. So what is TKT? Basically the content of each module, the exam format, the kind of assessment, then the target group which can take this exam. So who is TKT ideally for? What kind of people can go for this exam? And the benefits of TKT. Why TKT at this juncture in your life? So before we go on to these issues, first let us approach this TKT exam from a more broader perspective. So you are all perhaps aspiring teachers, so or in-service teachers. So what has to teach always meant? If I were to ask you this question, and if I had to draw your attention to the people on the slide in front of you, what is each of them doing? So whether it's the Guru Shishya Parampara, or whether it's any other kind of classroom space, what you see is that there is the teacher who is in the center of the classroom, and the teacher has some kind of an audience, and this audience is obviously the students, and they are using a verbal medium, that is, they are lecturing to impart knowledge. And this has more or less been the tradition of conventional teaching since times immemorial. Now, if we were to consider this as the central method or strategy of imparting knowledge or of teaching, then oratory becomes a crucial skill. Now, if you look at these people whose pictures are on the slide in front of you, their pictures are there for a reason. These are all very well known people who are very convincing orators. So, oratory is not only a skill which is crucial to teaching, but it is crucial to success in any field. But what if the teacher is not a very proficient orator? She's not a gifted orator. Not all of us are comfortable speaking. Not all of us are performers. Not all of us are naturally kind of, we maybe some of us are not very comfortable doing the talking. So here's the good news. TKT does not expect you to keep talking or to keep holding on to the conventional method of imparting knowledge. In fact, TKT wants you to work towards a more dynamic classroom with a more engaged group of learners. Now, let's be honest and face this. How do you want your class to be? Uh, do you want your students to be engaged, to be involved, or do you want them to just keep listening to you? Because let's face it, regardless of the effectiveness of our presentation skills, the attention span of the audience, or in this case, students, is always very low. Attention span does not go beyond 7 minutes. So every seventh minute, one has to keep thinking of modifying or reinventing the whole scenario. So obviously, for me, I would like a classroom where, if you look at the picture on the right hand bottom of the slide, you will see that you can't make out who the teacher is, right? You have an engaged group of learners. It's an informal setting. Some learners are standing, some are sitting, and they seem to be engaged in an animated discussion. So, this is the kind of approach which TKT familiarizes you with. And you might be wondering why, what is so wrong about just being conventional, about just trying to resort to a verbal means of lecturing for delivering knowledge. Well, so the problem is that there is no problem, but the thing is that we are undergoing a radical shift. There is a paradigm shift in the academic scene, in the pedagogical scene. So, if you see now, earlier the teacher was supposed to be this learned, wise sage on the stage who controlled the flow of knowledge from the teacher to the students. So the flow of knowledge was always from one person who was the teacher to a lot of people who were the students and who were at the receiving end, the recipients of knowledge. Now, here we are in a period of transition where, from a teacher centered approach, we are adopting, we are moving towards a more learner centered or a student centered approach. And this is not just in theory. TKT actually tells you how to go about it practically, because this is the need of the hour. And once we start looking at each module of TKT, and once we start getting a better grip on what TKT is all about, we will also know why this shift is so necessary and why this shift is in fact indispensable in the times we live in. So we will get there. But now, if I were to ask you to reflect on what all these four teachers who are going to appear in front of you or who have already appeared in front of you on the slide are doing, one word would be explaining. So, whether it's a theory or a concept or a volume of knowledge, regardless of whatever discipline it is, conventionally teachers have always resorted to explanation method where they elaborate, they talk about something. So what happens when the teacher talks about a topic? Well, every time the teacher talks about something, it is the teacher who gets more clarity because through this through speaking about it, the teacher is actually reinforcing and revisiting the topic, so in her mind she is getting more and more clarity. But what about the students? In the conventional lecture method way, there is absolutely no way of checking after conveying a concept or an idea whether the concept has been comprehended by students, whether it has been understood, whether that it is going to be retained. For all you know, your student might be physically present in the classroom and might be, they might be nodding their heads vigorously and showing that the positive body language that they are responding to you, but mentally they could be on the playground or they could be in the canteen or the cafeteria. Now, how do you control that? So obviously here the answer is that we have to resort to or take recourse to other different means and strategies of teaching, other pedagogical techniques, which is what TKT familiarizes you with. So if I were to present a corollary to explaining, it would be eliciting. So uh, the switch is complete, where from the flow of knowledge which happens from the teacher to the student through explaining, we are looking at knowledge flowing from the students to the teachers as much as it is possible. So here we urge teachers to tap into the learner's reserves, knowledge reserves, the previous knowledge of the learner's awareness, and build your lesson from that point, right? Because you are always going to have a group of mixed ability learners with diverse levels of exposure, with diverse levels of information and familiarity with the topic. So obviously it is not going to be one homogeneous monolithic kind of batch of learners who are all at the same level. So eliciting is a lovely way where you can tap into the learner's knowledge reserve and capitalize on the information which the learner already has. This is, I think, one very central, quintessential approach which TKT kind of familiarizes you with, and which kind of is the defining or the characteristic feature of the Cambridge TKT test. Now, for this method to reflect in your day-to-day teaching, for this approach or for this philosophy, I wouldn't even call it a method. From explaining to eliciting is a shift in your pedagogical philosophy. So I would say if you were looking at this ideological shift or this philosophical shift in your teaching, obviously the teacher needs to be equipped with a range of skill sets, right? So what knowledge would teachers possibly need? Now, I am going to just give you a glimpse of a few areas. Now, this is not even the start of what teachers need to not only know, but also internalize and implement in their classroom. So, the teacher needs to familiarize herself with various methodologies of teaching. She needs to evolve a digital consciousness, a digital awareness. She needs to be able to learn to reduce her profile in the classroom, where she is not center stage anymore, but it's the learners, right? So there is a lot of unlearning also which is involved. And obviously, for this unlearning to happen, a lot of planning has to go into it. So there's the planning part where the teacher has to consider the interaction patterns very carefully at every stage of the lesson. And wherever she sees that there is too much of interaction which is happening from her end, she has to make sure that the interactions reflect more learner autonomy. They reflect more of peer teaching. So obviously, she needs to understand various methods and ways of managing the classroom. It is not just about teaching or imparting knowledge anymore. It is about stepping from one role to the other, from being a facilitator to becoming a manager, to becoming a monitor, to becoming a consolidator, to correct use of classroom language, to adapting course material. So it's a whole range of things, right? Which the teacher needs to be kind of needs to upskill herself or equip herself with. And that is where TKT helps us because it's that stepping stone for the teacher who wants to go out and experiment and situate herself and her students in a different kind of classroom, which is vibrating, which is dynamic, which is not the conventional, traditional classroom where learners are just given the status of passive recipients of knowledge and where there's no means to check how much they have received or retained. So we come to the very, very important and significant question, and which is our first focal area: why TKT? Now, there are hordes and hordes of reasons, and I've already begun with those. But let's have a quick look at some very important reasons as to why TKT. Why TKT? Why not something else? Right? So, if you look at the exam, TKT is mapped onto the Cambridge English Teaching Framework. In other words, TKT acquaints you with CLT approaches. CLT standing for Communicative Language Teaching Approaches. It acquaints you with the latest pedagogical trends, not only in the field of language, but these could be interdisciplinary as well, which you could not only implement in your language classroom, but it is extreme. These are extremely adaptable and flexible approaches, which are adaptable across the curriculum. Secondly, and I think this is a very important thing, that TKT is a certification which comes from the University of Cambridge, which, needless to say, is a huge brand in itself. It is one of the top five universities of the world, right? It has a legacy. It has a formidable global presence, and you have already been acquainted with the reach of Cambridge. So I don't have to tell you all over again. Plus, you are getting this certification from the confines, from without having to actually travel to another destination, from within the comfortable confines of your house. What more do you want? It helps you make your career plans. With this, what I mean is that you might have a professional teaching qualification, right? You might be a teacher who's already working with an organization, but it is a certification which definitely looks at upskilling you, making you aware of advanced skills and techniques, which has a global recognition and which can shape your career plans, which can determine the trajectory of your career. Now, there are schools mushrooming across the length and the breadth of this country. You have IB schools coming up, you have especially IGCSE or the Cambridge schools that are coming up, which do not have these conventional approaches. So they are looking at teachers who can bring newness, who can bring freshness, who can bring new ideas into the classroom, who are ready to step out of their comfort zones. And that is what will make you more hireable. Now, even if you look at the state board schools or the schools with a CBSE or an ICSE curriculum, even they are going the international way because obviously Every school wants its students to become global citizens. With globalization and in this age of market economy, where the world has shrunk to the size of a global village, obviously employability becomes a key determining factor. And the more skills the students have, the more employable they are, the brighter their futures are. But who is going to inculcate or develop these skills? Obviously, teachers who are equipped with those skill sets themselves. So, TKT not only looks at revolutionary teaching techniques, but it also facilitates the development, the cultivation of certain skill sets, like, for example, critical thinking, digital awareness, or communication skills, cognitive skill building, which might not be happening otherwise in the conventional classroom approach, which learners need because they have to transfer these skills which they acquire during their school and college education to the workplace. So, and also, these could also be regarded as life skills. So, that is the kind of range we are talking about, which we are looking at. You have to also bear in mind the fact that since this is a certification by Cambridge, TKT is regularly updated. It brings you up to speed with whatever latest that is happening in the in the realm of pedagogy, in the realm of academics in the world. The exam is user friendly. You have a pen and paper test, computer based test, and each of these modules, it's a standalone module, right? So they can be taken independently. Individually, TKT has 5 modules on offer. So, and out of which 3 are core modules and 2 are adjunct modules. So you can take each of them independently. Of course, there has to be some kind of a logistical understanding and plus these exams do not have a global date. So you can actually, if it's your organization which is enrolling its examinee or trainee exam, you can have an understanding with the exam partner and you can have the exam on a date that is mutually convenient to both parties. So that's the benefit of TKT. And finally, at the end of it, it's not even a very long exam, as you will come to know when I familiarize you with the exam format. So at the end of it, it's like you do a lot of reflection, introspection. You prepare for the exam with the help of the materials that we give you. You take the exam, and the certification straight from the University of Cambridge comes to your doorstep. Now, what could be better than that, right? So, accessibility, flexibility, the whole the whole defining feature of TKT, which is its novelty and its ability to uh, update you with the latest that is happening, makes makes it a very desirable certification, right? So let's look at some of the additional benefits of TKT, which of course is a kind of reinforcement because I've already mentioned them earlier. But let's have a look again very quickly. It prepares you to deliver to international standards. So not only does it prepare you as a candidate, as an aspiring teacher or as an existing teacher, but TKT is so designed that you one the journey which you undertake to prepare yourself for the exam and the certification ensures that you are familiarizing yourself, you're acquainting yourself with international standards of pedagogy, right? So again, it you can just focus on the words in bold on the slide. It enhances your career opportunities. Let's face this, we are in a very difficult phase at the moment, and in the post COVID-19 world, it's going to get a lot tougher. It's not going to be the same world that we used to inhabit, right? So we need to be equipped with a completely different set of pedagogical skills, of pedagogical awareness, which will kind of lead to better career opportunities and also make us evolve as teachers, right? In TKT, like I said, each module can be taken independently and you get a separate certificate for that particular module. So it's not a comprehensive test. You qualify for each module. You are assessed for each module and you get a certificate for each module, right? For B.Ed and M.Ed teachers, if you're looking at some additional certification, this is the certification for you because, like I said, it comes from Cambridge, which is already very well known for its language certifications, for its language tests, which have been going on for more than 100 years now. So there's obviously a reputation, they are internationally acclaimed, and you are going to be joining this, you will become a part of this legacy. Plus, uh, with your B.Ed and your M.Ed, it's a it's a very, very significant certification to have to make you more employable and to kind of certify on your behalf that yes, you are a more desirable candidate because obviously you have familiarized yourself with the international pedagogical scene, right? And TKT, in fact, can be easily mapped to the current courses offered by the college. So it's not that you have to make any additional efforts. Even within your curriculum, there are aspects which can be exploited to convey the basic concepts which TKT covers. So that's again a significant feature of this exam. Now, moving on to who is TKT for? Who are the people who could take this exam, who could be benefited by this certification? So, TKT, like I said before, it's a flexible exam. It's a very, very friendly, in fact, examinee friendly certification, if I could use that phrase. Teachers of primary, secondary, and adult learners can take this exam, whether you are part of a state board or a private school, or whether you teach in a college, whether you are part of the higher education system. You will find TKT extremely relevant and extremely useful because when we are dealing with language learners primarily, or when we are dealing with imparting concepts, conveying ideas, it it doesn't uh, it doesn't really matter what age group the learner belongs to, or what whether they are first generation or second generation learners. TKT has a plan for every kind of learner. So you will, if you are a teacher of adult learners, you will find something which you can take away from TKT. If you are a primary a teacher catering to primary school students or young learners, there's definitely some different takeaway for you because these skills are adaptable. Like I said, these techniques are adaptable and they can be used across a range of target groups and across a range of age groups, right? So whether you're an in-service teacher or a pre-service teacher, TKT is a great way to upskill yourself. Seasoned teachers might think, oh, this is not for me because I've been doing this for donkey's years now. 15 years I've been teaching. I don't need to know. I think I know everything about teaching. No, that's not true. In fact, you'll be surprised what a revelation TKT can be. What an enlightening and epiphanic experience TKT can be for you. So, the more seasoned you are, in fact, you will find the more there is to unlearn and the more there is to discover and explore and experiment, right? So, in fact, TKT is that certification which shakes us out of our comfort zones, which tells us, no, let's not be smug. It doesn't stop here, there's more to this. right? So even if you are a teacher with years and years of experience and a very seasoned educator, there's still a lot which you can take from this exam, and plus the certification becomes a huge value addition to your profile, right? Also, there are certain modules of TKT which cater directly to teachers who aspire to broaden their teaching into other specialized areas. Like I told you, that if you're a teacher who wants to cater only to young learners, or if you are a teacher who does not teach language, who teaches other subjects, you could be a humanities teacher, you could be a social sciences or a physical sciences or a math teacher. We have the CLIL module for you. So you also have those kinds of takeaways from TKT, even if you are not a language teacher. If you are a teacher who is very digitally aware, who likes to know what is happening around the world, who wants to keep up with the latest trends in her discipline, in her area, then TKT is the certification for you. Because that's what makes you cross that threshold and enter the realm of that exciting profession which teaching has now become, right? And TKT absolutely does not discriminate between teachers who are beginners, who are starting with their careers, and seasoned teachers. Because, like I said, it's a whole lot of ideas. It urges you to bring novelty in your classroom. It urges you to try out different things in your classroom. It urges you to be creative and at the same time achieve your outcomes or the learner outcomes which you have envisioned for your class. So, in that sense, TKT is almost like it caters to everybody. Plus, you don't need a specialization in English language. Of course, you need to be at a certain proficiency level to understand the questions that are asked in TKT or the materials that you need to uh, uh, kind of engage with to prepare yourself for the exam. But it is not looking at it's not as if it's not as if you have to be a BA in English or an MA in English or a PhD in English to be able to take this certification from Cambridge. So that is what basically that's what makes TKT so desirable and so flexible. Now this is a kind of snapshot of the 5 modules which we offer, which come under TKT. TKT has 3 core modules, which are which focus, I wouldn't say exclusively, but primarily on language, right? And the technicalities and the various aspects of language. Though module 3, and if you look at certain aspects of module 2 and 1, you will find them very interdisciplinary in nature. CLIL and YL, which you can see, are again acronyms, which I'm referring to this last box over here. CLIL stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning. As is evident, it marries content with language. So you're not only focusing on communication skills, but you're also focusing on cognitive skill building of your learners. YL stands for Young Learners. Like I said earlier, that in order to be able to handle young learners, you require to have a completely different set of skills. And this module of TKT equips you with precisely those skills. So, those are the 5 modules at a glance. We will take up each one, uh, and I'll be telling you a little more about each module uh, in the minutes to come. Before we do that, let me give you an overview of the TKT exam format. So, each module of TKT is of 80 minutes duration, which makes it very convenient. Now, those of us who are not really very comfortable writing long descriptive answers, here's the good news: TKT is not about attempting essay type questions. It the question paper is comprised of 80 questions, which are all objective type questions. So they are MCQs or they are matching, there are matching exercises, there are MCQs. So each question carries 1 mark, and you just choose the correct option. Correctly, you match the correct option with the correct statement, and that's how your response is recorded. So please, let's bear it in mind that TKT does not assess your abilities as a teacher. It assesses your awareness as a teacher, your level of pedagogical awareness. But let me tell you that in the process, in the journey to the certification, the kind of preparation that you will be undertaking for the exam, for the certification, is it's the journey that matters, because that journey, that process is going to be a revelation. It is going to familiarize you, to acquaint you, it is going to bring to you things that you may have never tried out in your classroom, approaches that you may have only heard of but never thought of implementing. So it gives you, the preparation in itself gives you opportunity to reflect, to discover, to try out something, to record to record and reflect on what went well, what didn't go well. And as you're undertaking that journey, you're also stimulating your faculties, you're opening yourself up to newer areas of pedagogy. And finally, these are the things that are going to be assessed. So when you attempt an answer in the exam, it that answer and your correct response is going to be the determining factor, or it is going to be the evidence of your awareness of a particular method, or whether in a particular situation this is the way the teacher should have reacted, or is this the set of instructions which the teacher should have given. So it's also a whole lot of input for you. That's again another benefit of TKT, that in the form of case studies, in the form of questions, in the form of instructional language, you also get a lot of models, which you can use in your own classroom, right? So we will just look at module 1 very briefly. It's the most exhaustive of all the modules, not the most exhausting by any means. It's a very exciting module. So what is this all about? Language and background to language learning. So this module presumes that as teachers, we use a certain language as a medium of instruction. And especially as language teachers, it is not enough to merely have a good command or a good authority over the language we speak, but also understand the technical aspects of the language. So it's not, in other words, if I had to give you an example, I would say it's not enough to be able to use the language correctly, but one should also be aware as to why one is using a particular structure, a particular grammatical form in a particular situation. So it takes into account various technical aspects of language like grammar, phonology, lexis, functions, and the various language skills and sub-skills. We are all familiar with the LSRW skills, right? The listening, speaking, reading, writing skills. But how much of it are we actually including in our lesson plans? How many of the sub skills are we actually aware of? Do we frame questions or exercises, or can we have exercises and questions and activities in our lesson plans which intend to develop these sub skills in our students? Because and these are language sub skills, so regardless of the subject that you're teaching, these sub skills can be developed through any subject, right? Even if it's physics or chemistry, you can do a speaking activity which focuses, say, on the sub skill of fluency. or on the subscale of a particular grammatical accuracy of a particular grammatical component along with the content. So of course we look at that at greater in greater depth when we do the CLIL module. But so the first part of this, the first module is language. Our awareness of language as language teachers could be as other subject teachers also, because our medium of instruction is nonetheless going to be a common language, right? It also takes into account the background to language learning. And I think this is what really makes TKT um, a very a very learner centered or a student centered kind of module in its approach. Because when we say background to language learning, we are not talking about how the teacher needs to upskill herself, but we are shifting the focus from the teacher to the learner. We normally, as teachers, we tend to focus mostly on how our learners fare, how what kind of grades are they getting. We want them to improve. We Our focus is mainly on our lesson plans, on what content we need to cover, how we are going to meet the exam deadlines, the kind of questions that we are going to set, the assignments that we are going to be giving our learners. But we never take into account our learners' background. In all of this, there is always a presumption that our learners are kind of one homogeneous group, who more or less come from the same background, have the same proficiency, have the same motivational levels. But this part of module one makes you realize that this is not the case. There could be so many factors influencing the learning outcomes or the proficiency level of your learners. You could have learners who are first generation speakers of English. You could have learners who use English in their family. You could have learners who have absolutely no motivation to learn the language. And you could have learners who are extremely self motivated because maybe they are taking an English exam to fly abroad for further studies. So, all these variations will determine the kind of innovation, the kind of planning which you will be implementing and executing in your classroom. It will determine the materials that you want to adapt, the course book that you're going to choose, the ancillary kind of materials, or the additional exercises that you're going to be giving your learners. So background is extremely important. And also it makes you more empathetic because you are beginning to focus on the needs and the requirements of your learners, on the types of learners that you have. So it makes you more compassionate as a teacher. And it also familiarizes you with approaches, the different approaches to language teaching. Plus, it familiarizes you to different structures of language lessons. So you have the presentation techniques, because every session is like a presentation. So you have techniques which you can use. You can have introductory activities which will pep up the classroom, which will stimulate your learners, which will build the tempo of the classroom. It suggests you the range of practice activities, the consolidation activities that you can have after you finish teaching or conveying a particular topic. It also gives you a fair idea of the kind of assessment tasks and the assignments that you can give your learners, right? So this is what module 1 is all about. And like I said, it's a comprehensive, exhaustive module which opens up a very different world for language teachers, which we may not have considered till now. Moving on. Now, we all are familiar with the term lesson plan. We know that we have to plan a lesson. Some of us might get irritated also that what is this lesson plan thing? It's just an obligatory, arbitrary, perfunctory kind of compulsion. I mean, who makes a lesson plan? I know my subject well. I can just breeze into the classroom, and I'm a really convincing teacher, and I know I know my job. But TKT's module 2, which is on lesson planning, is going to make you think and reflect on a lot of areas which we might forget to consider otherwise. Again, the basic premise is that we are not catering to a monolithic block of learners, right? They are not one monolithic entity. They are all diverse. And we have to take into account that diversity in our learners, right? So, what comes under planning and preparation? Have these questions ever bothered me? That what do when I'm writing my lesson plan, I might be very good with my lesson aim, my personal aim, the learning outcomes, but what about anticipated problems? Do I anticipate that if uh, a certain idea or a concept is not conveyed, then I have to take a roundabout way, or I might not be able to finish this activity in 15 minutes? Or is this activity even worth the effort that I'm taking? Sometimes it could be, it could be tempting to do an activity, but am I doing it just for the sake of doing it? Or am I really achieving some outcome? Is my learning outcome for my learners, which I have envisaged, being met? Or am I being fair to all my learners? Or am I just trying to nominate the smarter ones and disregard the ones who are reticent, who are laid back, because I have to move on to my next task? Do I have a remedial teaching for my slow learners? Am I mixing my learners properly? Am I showing discretion in being sensitive to all learner types? Do I have something for hyperactive learners? Do I have something to encourage and motivate those who are not at all interested? So, do I have a plan B if my plan A does not work? Do I ever reflect on how my session went? I mean, do I have a self reflection sheet? So, all of this happens in module 2. And why do you think it is important to think of so many aspects? Because today's learner, if you look at today's learner is a very smart and a very well informed learner. We are living in an age where we don't know where our body ends and the gadget begins, right? The boundary lines have blurred. So if my mobile does not work, my BP might fluctuate. Or if my battery cogs off, I might have a heart attack. That's the relation which I have with my gadget. So if I am a teacher, I have to be really wary of my learners, because I might enter the classroom thinking, oh, today I'm going to be introducing this brand new concept. And lo, my learners already know all about it. So again, I can capitalize on their awareness, and I can use it to my advantage by turning it on its head and transforming it into a language centered, learner centered class, right? So I have to always go equipped, fully prepared, fully armed in the classroom. And this process of equipping myself does not mean just arming myself with a textbook or a PPT. There is a whole range of materials that I need to refer to. I have to realize that what I'm taking to my learner might be already on my learner's plate. So, what is that new component? What is that value addition that I am making for my learner? So, I have to be geared up, I have to be prepared for it, and especially in today's times, in the post COVID-19 phase, where my classroom might see a transition from being a face to face classroom to being to transitioning into a completely online digital platform for some time. So what do? I have to uh, scout through online resources, right? I have to adapt material. I have to grade material. I have to understand that I have to change the focus of the existing material. So if I have mixed ability learners in my classroom, for slow learners, perhaps I simplify the material, and for smart learners, I might have an additional activity for them. So these are all the possibilities and variations I have to consider, and I couldn't be doing it don't keep myself open, if I'm not already aware of the range of materials that are available out there. And that is what module 2 of TKT does for you. Primarily, what it does is that it helps you understand what makes a solid lesson plan, not an arbitrary lesson plan, but a solid, implementable, executable, and a realistic lesson plan which is achievable, which has realistic aims, which is not something which you just put for the sake of documenting, but which you actually use and execute, which is made after a lot of deliberation, trial and error, and reflection, right? So it helps you identify, select aims, different components of your lesson plan. It helps you to plan one lesson or a series of lessons, and it also helps you choose from a range of activities. The second part of the module is all about resources, identifying the correct course material, identifying additional material, grading material, then selecting, rejecting, sifting material, right? And also the selection and use of teaching aids, teaching learning aids. So all of this happens in module 2 of the TKT, which focuses on lesson planning and course materials, right? Now, we have an interesting visual over here. What does this visual tell you? Do you imagine your class to be like this, where every learner is autonomous, where every learner is productively engaged, it's constructively involved? How do I make this happen? Has it ever occurred to you how to turn this into a possibility, into a reality? Because this could be a very challenging scenario where, and especially in a young learners class, where, or even in the middle school, where all learners are active instead of being passive and seated. They're moving about, they are engaging, and at the same time, you are not cooling your heels, but you know that your learning outcomes which you have envisaged for your learners are being met, they are being attained. So that's the third module of TKT, which is all about classroom management. Now, obviously, in the conventional method of lecturing, the classroom does not have to be managed because students automatically know that they have to keep quiet during the lecture, they have to listen or at least pretend to listen to the teacher, and the teacher's job is to keep speaking, and maybe at the end of the conventional classroom the teacher gives an assignment and assesses the assignment. But in an interactive classroom, with different stages, different activities at each stage, which are aimed at achieving or attaining different learning outcomes, classroom management can become a critical area, right? So, TKT's module 3 is all about classroom management methods, which I will not say is relevant only for English language teachers. It is relevant for any teacher who believes in an engaged, dynamic, student centered classroom, right? So, the various roles which the teacher needs to play, right from being the person who introduces the concept, to being the motivator, to being the manager, to being the one who sets up the activity with the correct set of instructions, which involves the accurate use of classroom language, right? To being the facilitator, to being the enabler, to monitoring to ensure that a strong student is not dominating a weaker child, to being a fair nominator, to enabling different interaction patterns, different engagement patterns. Classroom management is about a whole lot of things. So, module 3 is all about managing the teaching and learning process. A very important component of this module is also classroom language. Now, you might be wondering, what is this classroom language? Obviously, we all speak in whatever medium of instruction we use. Here, I'm presuming that it's English. So, what's there to it? No. Classroom language would mean a specific use of English in a specific situation. So English for specific purposes, right? Which is very different from maybe the kind of language used by doctors in a hospital, or the kind of language used by engineers in the manufacturing sector, or the kind of language English which IT professionals would use, or people in the hospitality industry would use. So here I'm using English for academic purpose. So am I using the correct words? Are my instructions accurate? Are my comprehension check questions sensible? Am I using instruction check questions? Is my language of encouragement good enough? Am I insensitive when I'm correcting errors? Is my language of error correction sensitive, polite, empathetic? Is my language of giving feedback, consolidation, clear and palatable or palpable? So these are the various things which I have to take into consideration when I use my classroom language, because obviously it's very different from the kind of language I might be using to socialize with my friends. Even if the language is the same, the functions of the language will change. So TKT module 3 also introduces you to the functions of classroom language, the teacher's functions, the various reasons why she makes use of language in the classroom, right from instructing to eliciting to explaining to consolidating to giving feedback to complementing to correcting errors, and the list goes on, to even learners' language, right? Why would learners need to use language? So maybe it could be to clarify a doubt, or to ask a question, or to ask the teacher to repeat something, or to take their assignment to the teacher. So modeling a correct, or providing an accurate model of language in the classroom is extremely important, because after all, I am the person my students are emulating, right? Teachers, we shoulder a very big responsibility. It's not about just handling a subject or delivering a session. To the world, you may be just a teacher, but to your students, you have to remember you are a hero. In fact, I'm a role model for my students. And this is true for every teacher. So it's not only about what I say, but how I say it, my body language, my presentation skills, the language which I use in my classroom. Everything is being internalized by my students. Not so much as their parents, but the teacher becomes a very strong influencing force in the lives of students. So we better be aware of this huge responsibility of grooming, besides doing other things that we are shouldering. Now I will take you away from the three core modules of TKT to look at the adjunct modules. Let's have a look at what CLIL does or intends to do. So, as you know, it's an acronym and it stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning. Now, CLIL is still an evolving approach to teaching, and it is very successful, particularly in those countries where English is not the mother tongue, where students use English as their second language or as a foreign language. So, in other words, where English is used in a formal space, where students have not grown up with English, but so they haven't acquired it unconsciously, but they are learning it in the formal space of the academia. So, what CLIL intends to do is that it marries content, it brings content and language together. Like I said, that this is not limited or confined only to language teachers, but it is primarily meant for teaching other subjects with a dual focus on language and the subject matter of that particular subject. So you could be a science teacher, you could be a social studies teacher. So whatever topic or whatever idea or concept you're delivering to your learners or you're sharing with your learners could have a communicative approach also. So it could be interactive, it could be two-way, and it could aim at conveying the concept through different language skills by incorporating different sub skills of language. So, for example, you give them a reading comprehension task. where you focus on certain sub skills of reading, which will complement their understanding of that particular subject. Or say when you want them to write the result of an experiment, you familiarize them with the structure of imperatives or the structure of passive voice, passive structures, which is the ideal language structure, which is uh, which is suitable or which is appropriate to describe or to write about an experiment. Similarly, if you want them to write a report, you focus on the simple past tense. So it is all about bringing communication skills and cognitive skills together, focusing on both these skill sets, and also enhancing language through subject knowledge, or vice versa, where you complement subject knowledge, or where you enable the enhancement of subject knowledge through appropriate language skills, right? So this module again acquaints teachers with a whole with an extremely broad range of activities, exercises, and skill building techniques which you can implement, which you can introduce and implement in your classroom with successful results. So it's an increasingly popular module of TKT, which is again for teachers of different disciplines and adaptable across the curriculum. Now, moving on to the young learners module. Like I said, you need a special set of skills to deal with young learners at different energy levels if you were to last in a young learners classroom, right? So, young learners TKT is all about equipping teachers, arming them with those extra skill sets where they are able to understand and gauge children's characteristics as language learners, right? They are able to prepare lessons with the right amount of kinesthetic activities to keep children engaged, focused, and yet to deliver solid content and get tangible outcomes from students. And also bear in mind that they are enabling students to build on their language skills, because that's the age where students grasp the most. Young learners, in fact, the maximum language acquisition, if you look at it, is it happens between the age of 6 to 13, you can say, right? So whatever language the learner learns, it can be, this age is uh, very key. It's a key phase in the learner's life to internalize the correct structures, to internalize the whole format of a language, right? And also helps teachers to kind of devise and design activities and assessment patterns, whether it's formative or summative, through which are specially meant for young learners. So this is the TKT YL module, right? Which caters particularly to teachers who are interested in teaching young learners. Now, moving on to the grading part. The best part about all Cambridge certifications is that there is no pass or fail. They because in Cambridge we believe in what the examinee, what the learner can do and not in what they can't do. So there is a band score which reflects your performance in the exam. So obviously in this band score, band 4 indicates the highest level of achievement, which shows that the teacher has extensive knowledge of the subject matter, indicates that yes, she has a comprehensive awareness, and so on and so forth, with band 1 being limited knowledge. But if you see, there is no negative word which will indicate the lowest possible score. So that's another thing. Regardless of your performance in the examination, you still get a certificate, and that certificate reflects your performance in terms of bands, right? Uh, Now, let's have a look at the kind of support materials that we provide you for TKT. So there's this link which you can see on the slide. You can click on the link and you will see that there's a plethora of materials, resources, activities, videos, and exercises that are available to you, and a lot of theoretical stuff also, which you can which you can avail absolutely free of cost, right? So this is meant as support material, so it's not chargeable, right? And plus, this is again a list of the links from which you can download the following resources. So if you want to have a general idea about how to prepare for TKT, you click on the first link, and then this link will give you the TKT handbooks for each module, which is like the Bible of TKT. It is very comprehensive, and it could be it is a wonderful resource for any teacher, right? Because like I said, it has the quintessential um, kind of whatever, it has the quintessential notions and ideas and the pedagogical thought of TKT, which is reflected in the handbook. If you want to have a look at sample papers and the computer based exam, you have this link, the third one. And finally, the TKT glossary, because TKT is also about a lot of ELT and pedagogical terms and terminology which you might not be familiar with, or which, if you are a B.Ed or an M.Ed student or a teacher, you might have a different term or a different word to describe that same term. So, this TKT glossary, in fact, not only acquaints you with all the jargons that are specific to the realm of language teaching and pedagogy, but it also familiarizes you with the descriptions of these terms. So, you know exactly what it stands for and how it can be incorporated in your awareness, right? Besides this, an invaluable support and resource is the TKT course book. Now, you have the TKT course modules. There's one comprehensive TKT book which has all three modules, 1, 2, and 3. And then there's another book which focuses and which deals with exclusively with the CLIL module. Now, this this book by itself is a treasure house of information, input, materials, ideas, concepts, even pedagogical techniques, because the way the book is designed is very interactive. So, though it is supposed to be self study, the book itself is like a course guide. It will navigate. You will find that the book is your guide. It helps you navigate your way through understanding a particular concept. So there are starter activities in the book. Then there's a section which deals with the key concepts, and then the key concept in the language teaching classroom. Then there are follow-up activities to reinforce this key concept. Then there are reflection points, which helps you understand the concept further. There are discovery activities which will help you implement the concept in your language classroom and then come back and reflect on how it went. And plus, finally, there is the TKT practice task, which has questions on the lines of the questions that are asked in the exam, right? So, this is kind of a very organized, structured kind of material which will give you the correct direction, the right direction in which to go. Besides this, Cambridge gives you the TKT app, access to the TKT app once you enroll for the exam. Now, this TKT app it covers module 3 and the CLIL module. So it is designed in such a way that you use it in an interactive way for self learning and reflection, and it is accessible. You can access it through your mobile or on whatever desktop, which whatever personal computer you are using, whether it's a desktop or a laptop. It's ideal for teachers who are looking at preparing looking at self study and self preparation. And it has a series of videos, worksheets, articles, consolidation material, discussions, as well as mock tests, and guides teachers towards developing your teaching methodology. Right now, if you are interested in accessing this app, you can see that there's a link given at the, sorry, there's a mail ID which is given at the bottom of the slide. You need to write to this ID, you need to send a mail, and they will respond to you. So, all in all, in fact, if I had to sum up, I would say that it's been more than I took the TKT I think around 11 years ago, and I can share this with you in the capacity of a researcher and an academician who uh, who deals in HE. I train teachers, I train school teachers, I train college teachers, and I also train trainers. TKT was my first stepping stone, and it opened up an unimaginable world of possibilities, right? It may seem a little daunting, a little intimidating at the start, but it is fun, it is exciting, it brings out the explorer in you. And being a teacher of literature, also, all I can think of is Robert Frost's the lines from Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. So it could be a less traveled road, but it is going to make a phenomenal difference. And you are going to cherish every moment of your journey. So it's all about the excitement, the fun, the novelty, and the newness, and the innovation, and the creative urge that TKT brings, uh, that TKT kindles in you. It ignites in you, and it kind of makes you believe that there's a lot more to this than I thought. It doesn't confine you to that uh, typical conventional stereotyped image of the teacher, where, okay, she's this lady with the glasses taking classes one after the other. No, it makes you believe that the teaching can be so much fun. And like you never take a dip in the same river twice, we never meet the same group of students twice. So every session in that sense is innovative. And TKT makes us believe that yes, I can do something new every time I meet my students. I can try this out. And so it kind of enhances your lateral thinking, and it makes you it makes you develop a 360-degree perspective and approach to teaching. That it, like I said, it brings out the explorer in you, it brings out the adventurer in you. It wants you, it makes you want to do more, right? So, this is the thought I'm going to be leaving you with. Um, this is the official website, and that's the link where you can read all about TKT on the Cambridge English website, right? And for additional inquiries, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, if you have any doubts, you are free to write to inquiries at cambridgeenglish.in, right? And thank you so much. With that, I end this session with you. Hope you have some takeaways. Wishing you all the best, happy learning, and have fun teaching. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shayanti. I think it's been really wonderful. It was like unlearning and relearning about TKT for me. Let's wait for a few minutes. I think our participants should have questions which you could answer.
Mhm.
If you have any questions, can you drop that in the chat window? Or there is an icon called Speak. If you click on that, we can give you access to ask your question.
I don't see any questions yet.
Yeah, I think they're a little apprehensive should they go with their questions or not. So
Yeah,
you need not
because
be apprehensive. You
kind
can
of
just go ahead and shoot
them.
out your questions. Okay, I think there are no questions from participants. So thanks so much, Shayanti.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Sam. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, participants. Thank you, everyone, for being in this.